Hi there, it's Suzanne here today, and I have this little project that I've been wanting to do, and I'm celebrating my grandmother's birthday today. And actually, she would have been 125, so she's not here anymore. But she did live till she was 94, and so I remember her well. After she passed, I found a collection of these wonderful photos of her as a young woman, and I knew that I had to use them in my art projects. This picture is printed on Arches Text Wove on my laser copier. I just cut the paper to the right size and put it through, and it printed really well. I just love the vintage look, and this paper is just off-white, and it shows up the photograph really nicely. It's a beautiful weight paper, goes through the printer fine, and has a little bit of texture on it. It takes water media really well. It's a favorite of calligraphers. The stamp is a favorite. It's "A family is a circle of strength and love," and I wanted to use it on this project. And I know that this paper is textured, so it wasn't going to be very easy to stamp. So I used Versamagic Jumbo Java from Imagine Crafts and the Tim Holtz stamping platform, and I did multiple stamps with it, I think about 4 times, just to make sure I got a good impression. The other thing I wanted to add into this project was the new family die from Elizabeth Craft Designs, and it's going to need a whole lot more contrast, and I'll show you how we're going to get that. Walnut ink crystals. How can I live without them? Here's what they look like when you open the bottle. They're little crystals of all different sizes, sometimes a powder. And crafters can get these from Sukaniko Imagine Crafts. They come in a bottle like this. If you're a calligrapher, you might tap into John Neal Bookseller, Neal, and he'll have different kinds than this. So this is how I store my walnut ink crystals. They're not crystals anymore. I turn them into a sludge, and I've had this container for a million years. So all as I did was open the bottle, tap in some of the crystals, and added the least amount of water possible to make a solution. So it was really, really, really dark. And you can buy walnut ink as an ink, but this is just so much better because you can mix it up to any strength you want. So this is straight from the container, and look at that richness. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh man. So make sure you clean off your brush well, because that walnut ink really, really hangs in there. Dry it, wash it again, and then what you can do is take some of that concentrated walnut ink and put it in one of these little resealable containers, and this is called a buddy cup, and or you can put it in a palette. It doesn't have to be in a resealable container. It will easily go back into solution if it's dried out. You just have to add some water. Believe me, I've done it many times. We've added some extra water to this, so you're diluting it a bit. And there you have a weaker solution. And you can keep going doing this, making your solutions weaker and weaker. And you can even use your wash water, which will give you a very nice pale tea-dyed look. So now we'll get down to the nitty-gritty of the project, and here I have family die cut from Arches Text Wove paper, and I'm adding in the walnut ink in various concentrations. And the thing about walnut ink, it behaves a lot like watercolor, so it can be higher concentration, you can blend it, you can even pull the color off it when it's still wet. You can pull the color out of it after it's dried too. You have to re-wet it though. See? Look! But this is not the look we want, because we want it dark to contrast with the background of the project. So I'm going back in, and you can do that. You can add in more color. It's a robust paper, so you won't have any problems with it falling apart. And then I'm going to bring the crystals back in, and I'm going to take the end of the spatula and I'm going to tap in some crystals. And the crystals will dissolve in the wet spots. Sometimes they'll clump up, but they'll make it a very gnarly vintage look. And just wait for it to dry. I let it air dry. And here we have the finished project. I did the family die cut several times and chose the one that I liked best. And here you can see it up a little closer. I stuck the die cut in place with some glue dots, which I just rolled up in my fingers and stuck behind maybe 5 places on the back of the die cut. And I really like the fact that it's floating up above. It's kind of curled and not perfect and has that real vintage look. And happy birthday, Grandma Sid. Miss you. So I hope you've enjoyed playing with walnut ink. I have. I love this stuff. Can't live without it. Thanks for watching. Come join me again next time. Happy creating.